You are listening to episode 17 of the Underhook Show. My name is Steve, as always, alongside my co-host Chris. Chris, after a brief hiatus, we are back, and it is all in week. Are you feeling the buzz in the air?
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We are back, but yeah, I'm happy, man. I got a lot to be excited for. All In's one of them. I'm ready to dive in and talk about what we missed last week and this week, and preview the pay-per-view.
Yep, we'll preview the big shows all across the weekend. I don't think there's a lot of indie stuff going on. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think GCW is running a show.
Okay.
I believe so.
I figured somebody would.
Yeah, I want to say it was GCW. They said they were, I believe.
For sure.
I'll look that up later.
By the way, I would splice in the Mace song, Welcome Back, if we wouldn't get C Indeed.
I know, man.
But there's rules and regulations.
That's why I sung it. I just sung it to be, to get over those.
We got the cover version here on deck, so appreciate the cover. But yeah, it's all in week, and it's a big one. It's something that we've kind of framed everything towards since the very first episode of this show. We've always said, well, when eventually they're going to get to the stadium. When they're getting to the stadium, all the roads have led to Texas. They're here now. And we have a whole lot to talk about. We can start with last week. The two biggest points being the added... One's a stipulation, and I guess the other one would be a consequence. The stakes, if you will. But after an electric promo and opening segment, the main event of All In Texas is, in fact, a Texas death match. How are you feeling about that?
I believe you called it, or one of us said it was going to be... something like that. I'm excited. Oh, they've been getting me with these promos week after week. The one in Mexico was great, and then last week's was great. This week was just, they didn't cut a promo. Well, Mox did, but the match was it was. Yeah, I'm stoked for this pay-per-view. Like, by all means.
We'll talk about it in detail when we get to the match, but man, Hangman feels like he finally has the magic again.
Yeah, he's getting that. He found his stride again. He found that. He found it, like, I think, was it right before Mexico, or maybe was it the promo in Mexico where he found it? But
that's when he really felt like the ace, when he was cutting the promos in fluent Spanish. But
last week's promo was
electric. It was fantastic.
He has to win that belt. You have to put that belt on him. If not, then... Oh.
Yeah, let's not put anything bad into the universe, but, you have to play off of a good villain. Every hero needs a good villain. Moxley's work has been tremendous. The promos have been wonderful. I am just so invested into this. I'll wait till we preview the card. I have a couple of hesitations about this stipulation. Not that both men have proven that they could do wonderful things inside of a Texas death match, but more so around all of the
shenanigans.
Yes, we'll talk about that. But that was the big news coming out of last week. The other one being...
Oh, wait, don't forget Hangman knocking Marina Shafir's block off with that.
Yeah, and I loved how they delivered that. And Marina has eaten shit in a lot of these segments all year. So for people who are trying to be upset about it, she is a trained fighter and professional wrestler, and I don't think they would have done any of this unless she greenlit it. So you're barking up the wrong tree. I think she served her purpose in this build incredibly well.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so just want to throw that out there. But the other thing that impacts the All-In card is the added... I guess stakes. It's basically a wager match now with the Bucks and then Swerve and Ospreay, where if the Bucks win, neither Swerve or Ospreay can challenge for the title for 1 year. And they didn't really mention that tonight. I thought it was weird. They didn't run through the card tonight.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Go home Dynamite, then run through the card. But obviously they're going to jam as much as they could into the show. How do you feel about this though? Because I feel like that kind of makes the result not predictable, but more of like, okay, if that happens, I understand it.
Yeah, it didn't need that, but whatever. I mean, Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, real, it's gonna be a good match. That like wrestling, like it's gonna be spotty. It's gonna be good. But
yeah. If
I,
that's
I
if that's your thing, I think they're going to do all kind of wild shit, especially given that you know Swerve and Osprey's futures were kind of up in the air. There's a lot of mouths to feed, so to speak. With like the main event scene's only getting more and more compact. You need to do something with these guys, and I think because of that, when you're in this kind of high profile tag match, they're all gonna go for broke and do all kind of wacky stuff, which we'll elaborate on when we run through the card. But yeah, that was the other big thing coming out of last Wednesday. Did you catch any of Collision?
did. I actually watched it. That was
Yeah, watch it this morning.
yeah. I watched it Sunday, I believe. Yeah, Sunday. And Outrunners FTR.
Dude,
Go. Let's go. Let's go.
they got there, man. They really got there.
And then the promo, the vignette they cut tonight.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say I did not catch when we knew we were taking a week off. I did not catch a second of AEW last week. I watched Dynamite last night and I watched Collision when I woke up. And if every Collision could be like that one, I'm not going to miss another episode because
Well, tune in tomorrow, my friend, because it's going to be another good one.
yeah, I hope so. I would say the Lucha tag was a lot of fun. It's obviously when you can just fly in Hechicero and Mystico like that, it's a luxury. But even so, with just like your core kind of designated Collision guys, right? FTR Outrunners was tremendous. That was like full on Southern tag wrestling. And the way FTR were able to build up the Outrunners in those hope spots, that's what I wanted out of the Hurt Syndicate tag back in March.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's why I was like, well, hang on. Like, everyone was shit. Like, obviously that match didn't pan out how any of us wanted to. But the point being, when I was like, hey, see what you could do with these guys if you can prop them up in a match the right way. And FTR were able to do that. Like, this was like 2022 FTR, like all the way back FTR.
Yeah.
I love the match. And I thought the main event was awesome. The Garcia Kyle Fletcher, that should have been in the stadium.
If they found that Garcia finally had a decent show, or they gave him a decent showing finally.
The parts of Fletcher's game that I really like were at the forefront. And whenever they do the Brett suplex to the floor, that's always going to pop me.
I'm a little mad though, and this started my not mad, confused I should say. This episode of Collision started it. Why did Nick Wayne get added to the Kevin Knight Shelton Benjamin match? And then and another question I have we can get to when we run down the card, but I'll just say it here. Why did they get added to the match at the pay-per-view?
Yeah, because the Shelton Kevin Knight stuff I thought was by far and away the best part of that match. The only thing that I could think of is maybe they're doing a title switch to where Shelton and Bobby don't have to take a pin. However, as we'll talk about in this week's episode, they might have an avenue to just not do that. So if they're doing an injury angle, it even furthers the point. Why the hell is this a triple threat? I don't know. I don't hate Nick Wayne. I really like Christian's work in AEW, but this does feel unnecessary, especially because Nick Wayne's wrestling the night before, and not a lot of people are doing double duty this weekend. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of that decision. I'll see where it goes. I really think it's going to lead to obviously Nick Wayne breaking off, but I do think this is planting the seeds for FTR versus Edge and Christian in Toronto.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we knew it's coming, so just accept it, But other than that, I really enjoyed Collision, and I've been liking Dynamite as of late too. I think AEW's got a lot going for him heading into the big show. Did you watch anything else last week? You were telling me to check out the GCW show. I did not.
Yes, check it out. It was actually good. Like, I seen a lot of praise for it on the internet, so I was like, I'll peep it out because I had some free time, so I just popped it in the background. And the 6-person tag match alone, like that match rules. If you see nothing else from that show, watch that 6-person tag. It was Billy Starks, Megan Bain, and Miyu Yamashita versus Jordan Oliver, Alec Price, and Marcus Mathers.
Word.
So it
Yeah,
was
sounds like a lot of
solid.
like GCW regulars involved, and just having Miyu Yamashita around is a nice luxury. I saw a lot of praise. JCW ran on the 4th, and I guess they ran back Tremont and Mad Dog.
Yeah, I did. Fun fact: I tuned in. I clicked that. It was on YouTube, and I clicked it as it was happening, and it was that match. And I said, "This is fate," because they know this is the match I wanted to see.
Yeah, I still got to go back and watch. I'm still behind on DPW, so I wasn't gonna watch this match without watching their first match. And they had a build-up tag in LA in June, so I gotta catch up on my indie stuff. My wrestling diet over the last week was a whole lot of 93 ECW now that I've moved into that, and then I was knocking off some January matches from this year. I want to start getting down the list because we're
I
halfway through the year, so I got to start working on match of the year, wrestler of the year type stuff. So I'm watching everything.
I told you what my palate's been, so it's been a great space war for me. Uh, but
Before we recorded, or before we hit record, rather, I meant to say, uh, just doing doom scrolling on Instagram Reels. I got a compilation of Sasuke dives of
yes,
with the helmet on and the barrel and all that,
hell yeah, see that
Donkey Kong Country style.
Donkey Kong Sasuke.
But
But
that's
yeah,
awesome.
so the GCW show is really good. It I did look it up. They are running a show on the 11th, um, in Texas. So
Probably be after Supercard goes off the air, if I would
yeah,
assume.
I would assume also because they usually don't try to do that. They kind of just, but they got a pretty nice looking card on there. We can go over it later when we go over the All In week.
Yes, I'm gonna pull that up as we speak, so I will have it on deck. But if you're ready, we could head into tonight's AEW Dynamite.
Let's rock and roll, my friend. It's in Garland, Texas.
Yes, Garland, Texas, as they say, in the shadow of Dallas, because they're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for this show, or well, Arlington for the big show. But
The
uh,
Rangers play, right? I think
yeah,
so. Yeah.
Globe Life Field, where the Texas Rangers play. Uh, I can't wait to see what that looks like in there. By the way,
Yeah, I
because
think
it's a cool building.
I always think it's gonna look dope. I think, and I heard they're gonna
Yeah.
have it closed because it's gonna be hotter than hell out there.
Yeah, the one thing sounds like cool. They're doing it during the day, and I always think it's cool when like the big shows have like the sunlight up.
Yeah,
Plus, like realistically, the Texas Death Match wouldn't be going on till like 5:30, so like the sun would be setting, and I'm like, man, that's gonna be a cool visual. But they do have a lot of windows, so I think you'll still get the light peering through. We'll see. But Dynamite opens up with a final showdown with Mercedes Moné and Tony Storm. Not a lot to say on Mercedes' part. I did like the fact that they like looped the belts to the ring ropes. That looked really cool.
yeah.
Tony Storm was electric here, man. This
She was
promo, I loved it.
she was off a bean. Yeah, no, it was awesome. I loved it. The whole eat shit at the end. That was awesome. And then just, I think it was probably like one of the better promos between the two that we. 'Cause, I mean, I guess this was the first one technically, besides that sit down one they did.
Yeah,
But every other thing we got was them eating food and drinking by each other.
yeah. I'm going Mercedes style here, drinking red wine during our show. But the one line that stuck out to me, paraphrasing here, I don't have the actual quote up. Tony Storm talking about the magnitude of this match, saying how legacies don't matter, we're all gonna die, etc. But she goes something along the lines of like, not afraid of living an ordinary life, I'm afraid of dying an ordinary death. I'm like, holy shit. That line alone, you know, I was just gonna watch this match and enjoy it. These are two big match wrestlers. This is the biggest women's match they could run. I'm behind Tony Storm though. I want her to win now.
Yeah, I want her to win, but my gut's telling me that Monet's taking that belt.
Yeah, we'll do a pick 'em roundup at the end, but I don't really know where they're going with this. I think because there's always that creeping doubt in the back of your mind that Mercedes is just going to win anyways. But I think this is a good way to where you have two people who are incredibly over, but you're getting people to rally behind Tony. And that's
Yeah,
really important because, you lay all your chips down like this. If she does win, she's undoubtedly the ace of that division. So stakes are high. I personally don't really know like how the match will be handled. We'll talk about it again in the preview. But to leave off on such a strong promo, that's how you sell the match, man. I'm into it. I was like, I guess I kind of took it for granted just because the build hasn't been very strong. But coming off of this segment in particular, I'm like, yeah, I'm dialed in. I'm ready for this match.
and that's what I said too. I was like, I wasn't sold at first. Like, I wanted the match, but we said that from the jump. Like, they should have been cutting promos for a while, building it up. But maybe I'm glad they didn't because we wouldn't have got this good. You know what I'm saying? This one or the Carmen San Diego one.
Yeah, both very strong. Yeah, Tony's kind of been carrying this build. I'm not gonna lie.
She does that in a lot of them, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I guess maybe it took something this high profile for me to just be like, oh damn, it isn't to throw dirt on Mercedes. Like when that bell rings, she's going to deliver.
It's a big match, it's big money Monet.
Correct.
But it's just the build up to it. It's been all Tony Storm. So
yeah, she's done a wonderful job, and I'm ready for the match. Before we get to any action, though, we did have a couple more pre-tapes. An awesome Moxley one, and really going in the spirit of promoting the show by shoehorning the date into the promo. But this Moxley Hangman stuff, like we talked about at the top, so good. And he's just basically saying, you've beat me once. I'm glad that they did acknowledge the fact that Hangman beat Moxley in a Texas death match because they just haven't up to this point. But now Moxley did. And Moxley being like, yeah, you did beat me, but like you simply can't outlast me. And, I think it is important to acknowledge that Moxley's a different animal, but Hangman is too. And I think that's what makes the version of this match so interesting.
it's going to be even more crazier than the first time. Because, they've evolved like Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. And if you noticed, last week, Hangman brought the fork out.
Yeah.
Which I believe Moxley introduced that into their death match in 2023. So the fact
I need to
that
go back and watch that one again.
It's on Max. All the Revolutions are on Max, I believe. So
Let's go. I just think they put the All Out, too, on there from when Danielson came back.
Oh, hell yeah. Like 2021 All Out?
Yeah, when Cole and they did that double debut.
Oh, yeah. I started the holy shit chant at the end of that show.
The guy in front of me absolutely hated me because I think I was screaming directly behind him.
That was when Danielson came out, Milda like grabbed me by the shirt collar because I was like leaping in the aisle.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, that was an all-time night. But hey, you can go relive it on Max now. But going back to just this whole build, just great work from both guys. And Moxley is able to take those loose threads and kind of tie them all together, make it nice and sound. Yeah, dude, I'm so excited for this match.
I'm pumped for the. We'll get there, but
yes. Then the Bucks pulled up in their like MS Paint limousine.
Yeah. What the hell? They went to. They just said, "Hey, just print off." They went to Misprint and printed off a bunch of these like flyers and just put them on their car.
Just taped them on. It looks like wherever there was wood paneling on it, they put pictures of themselves and Mount Rushmore and all that. But it's like, hey, shout out Mount Rushmore, right?
Yeah. This was. I was like, what kind of? Who?
Yeah, it's like bad on purpose, and it's fine. Based off last week, though, they clearly spent the budget on Nikes and not the Photoshop work, or the decals for that matter. But yeah, they pull up in their limo, which I'm glad that had a payoff to it because I'm like, why are they doing this? Other than just the Bucks being stupid, but that's fine.
Yeah, I was. the payoff was still like, but at least they did something with it, I guess.
Yes. So we finally get to the ring here. Really cool match. Inspired matchmaking, I would say. Acts as a preview tag for Friday night's main event at Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. That being the team of Bandito and Brody King against Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, which they're just billed as Proto Shida now, but it's almost like the way the phonetics work always kind of seemed weird to me to say Proto Shida.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. But let me tell you something. Bandito and Brody King coming out together. That's got to be one of the coolest teams to ever do it.
I fuck with that one. They came out. Yeah, it was.
Brody had the shiesty on. Bandito had the Zorro fit on.
I looked at my buddy Josh. I was like, yo, this is me and you, but there.
Hell yeah. You guys got what are they, doppelgangers.
So we're going to Furnace Fest. I already told him, I got a shiesty. He dresses up as Pentagon all the time. So look, we got it.
Perfect. And just rock up in the ski. But this was, there's been a lot of Dynamite matches like this. I'm not complaining about that. There's even more on this show, but just nonstop action. A lot of freak show athleticism from Takeshita and Bandito. I don't even know what that singles match is going to look like, but I'm intrigued. And a whole lot of dives here. I think the one thing that did ground it for me was when Fletcher really leaned into being a shithead, which he's become so good at. And I would have liked to see more of that. But I got no complaints here, man. This was just a let the bombs fly,
Yeah, I know issue. Dope at PWG match,
Yeah.
They've been doing a lot of these PWG matches, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
There was another one. There was another one, or well, two if you count the main. But there was another match tonight that felt very PWG-ish. Might be next, actually.
Yeah, so I'm not really like mad about it, but I think tonight, and I get it, it's like it is a go home show, and you just want the energy up while you like in between your big segments and stuff. I think tonight though it did feel a little heavy handed because like every match kind of felt like it. Well, besides the Joe match, but yeah, maybe a little too much of a good thing, but that's a nitpick for me.
Yeah. I just, I don't know. I get what you're saying because, like, this is a go home. You should probably be building up your angles. I kind of said that out loud, too, with, like, when hanging out with my buddy. But, yeah, why did they have that? Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll get there now. It's the next match, but we'll get there.
Sure. I just wanted to say one thing about this, and this will tie into Friday. So, I don't think it was a botch. Could have been camera angle. But I think they were trying to work out the timing for
the
Bandito to do that crazy tornado into the knee.
Yeah, that did.
But I'm saying if they can get that down,
it would look
for Friday.
Nasty.
But I think they were just like kind of working shit out for Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was thinking, okay, I think I know where we're going with this. And when they do hit it, it's gonna go off. It's gonna like really connect, and yeah.
Yeah, when he went for it, I went, oh, no.
Yeah. But I like the pairing a lot. Again, every time they're like countering with blue thunder bombs and shit, and it's just two massive people like defying gravity. It's like, okay, this is going to be a freak show match, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm assuming that, okay, so yeah, everyone's got something to do out of this group because Brody's in the gauntlet match, and then Kyle Fletcher has a title match.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, this was cool. Get the names and faces out there. You're gonna see them. You're gonna see more of them in the days to come. After that was the Outrunners vignette. And then the blunt rotation Renee segment with like FTR and all the Christians, all 10 people in Christian's faction.
I love Stokely Hathaway.
Dude, I'm just glad he's on regularly again because he was off TV for so long.
My buddy out in California hasn't watched AEW in he doesn't really watch AEW, but me and him were talking and we turned it on Collision and he was like, "What is this universe mode? Why is Stokely with FTR?"
I think it's inspired,
but but it was just funny to me because I was just like seeing like an outsider's perspective of just like not watching it. It was just hilarious to me. And I love it.
Yeah, I'm into it.
My boys, the Outrunners, they pushing them. We're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just right place, right time with the match on Saturday. And, they ran the blade. I think FTR is able to put them with the right people, and
And they have a point too. Why is FTR not in this? But the patriarchy is. I'd rather have FTR.
yeah, I don't get it, especially with how one match on All In is undisputably like Tony Khan booking parallel of, well, they faced each other at the first All In. Well, first, let me just clarify when I say that, the first AEW All In. And FTR has been in the tag title match at the last two AEW All In. So it's like, if anything, you by that logic and by one match in particular that's on the card, FTR would be challenging for those tag belts. But they're not on the show. And they're not doing anything at Supercard. So it is interesting. Maybe they'll be on the 0 hour because nothing's been announced for that, or maybe they'll be added to the match. Who knows? I mean, a lot can happen in the weeks and hours before an AEW pay-per-view. So
anything.
Next, that led into Blake Christian versus Ricochet. My only issue with this match was this was like heel versus heel, but it felt like Blake Christian
was the face. Yeah, that's.
but everybody was cheering for Ricochet.
I was confused.
This was just very tonally weird.
And then it wasn't even like it built up for anything because Ricochet's in the gauntlet and cool. And then
is it? Go ahead.
I guess you kind of just you wanted to show the gates of agony with him to put it over again. I don't know.
I was gonna ask you if I missed something. Are those like his heaters now?
I guess so. Because
I'm cool with that.
That's what I said. They've been doing. I think it was on Collision one time. Gates of Agony came or Ricochet said, "Let's talk" or whatever. And then last week on Collision, they attacked Blake Christian and Shoddy. So that's what set the match up for tonight. Which kind of made sense, but at the same time, it's didn't need this tonight. You could do this on Collision, but hey,
Yeah, this was weird. I was kind of hoping Ricochet would have a little bit more, but the way they are building this this gauntlet match, I get it to an extent as well. I just think he's been so good this year that I would have liked him to be featured on the show, but I think their mindset is, if you're we're going to stack the gauntlet with our other, just basically everybody else who's still upper mid card or main event guys,
and then my hope, but we'll talk about it. We'll get there.
Yes. I think we can have some fun when we talk about these gauntlet matches, but I know the one name you're going to throw around, but
you know it because I've been saying it. I've been saying it. All right.
Yeah.
Let me have it.
Yeah. Hey, he's gonna be there.
I'm
he's
saying
gonna be in town.
He's gonna be there. Just give me one.
We then got the Hurt Syndicate with Renee, which would tie into the angle following the Mark Briscoe MJF promo. But before we get into that, can we take a quick break?
Of course.
Thank you, man. Top of the hour segment. Well, actually, before we get into that, it was another Omega Okada promo. It was kind of the final segment leading into this match, and Okada was getting pretty dark with this, saying he's gonna might fuck around and kill him, and Kenny said it's gonna be a different Kenny entering the match, which is cool that they're trying to, I guess, give it that American TV flavor heading into it, instead of it just being, these are the two best in the company going at it like how they did. I appreciate them building this as something new instead of just kind of relying on the past.
I just hope that it's there. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Because
me too. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, they're older, so I'm not saying it won't be a good match, but I don't I don't. I'll withhold my doubts till after I see the match. I'll say that there.
Yeah, before we talk about the match, um, I will say the main event of last week, the Ibushi Okada match. I didn't think it was anything blow away, but I did see some bits of Okada to where I could tell he was laying in a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, Okada's trying to go a little bit harder. They're keeping Kenny at home essentially, or if he's at shows, he's like just doing backstage stuff. So I'm almost like, okay, Okada's clearly like building himself up. Kenny's preserving himself. So keep that in mind when we get into the match preview, because I'll elaborate on that a little bit more. As far as that match went, the Avalanche Tiger Driver was sick.
That was badass. I just think if it had more time, because I don't feel like it got into like second gear.
I don't think it did either, but my biggest takeaway from it was Ibushi's bumping.
Yeah, he looked a lot better than he did
Yes.
when he first came back, though. So I was like, okay, we're back. We are so back.
And he's like fully committed to doing wild shit again. So I'm like, okay, like that's Ibushi, you know.
We are so back. Give me the golden
As long
lovers.
as long as he ain't like landing on his neck on the apron, I think we'll be okay.
As long as you don't gotta put him in no blood and guts, we'll be fine. You don't gotta don't put him in that. It was
Again, that's not me going safety police. That's more of just like he's been through enough.
yeah, we're good. Let's let him do what he wants to do, minus the head stuff, like dropping himself on the head. Like
Back to this week though, top of the hour segment, the talkie talk, which let me say this about Mark Briscoe. Aside from the obvious like passing of the torch, changing of the guard potentially with Hangman, Mark Briscoe is like might be the most over babyface there is right now. This man can get the crowd to chant anything.
I was about to say,
Empathy,
he can get
tiny pickle, talkie talk.
He can get anything over. Like literally, like the word of the day thing always pops me every time. I don't care what it is, but except for this time because it was more serious. But yeah, I said it before. Like I'm just glad he's finally getting his flowers. It sucked how he had to get here, but I'm glad he's getting his flowers.
Me too, and I'm glad that he's like a focal point of this gauntlet match, because he easily just could have been a guy in the gauntlet match, because he's so reliable. You could put him anywhere and he'll make it work. I need to watch a lot more. Most recently, I watched the Garcia match from January, but from what I watched live and what I'm going back and seeing now, I'm like, I think when Wrestler of the Year discussion comes around, I might throw Mark Briscoe's name into the hat. Honestly, like he just has made everything work. And I think that this pairing with MJF, as much shit as I give MJF, is just natural. Like, that's TV wrestling. It's
the rich versus the quote unquote the poor. You know what I'm saying?
Blue collar, but like the blue collar everyman that the people rally around.
Nice
Like this
is, I'm an asshole. It's fine.
No, they said rich and poor in the promo, dude. But it's just like, this is just like classic sensibilities here, and Mark Briscoe's so damn good that like it just works. I am gonna ask you though, because at first I was kind of like hell yeah, like good on you, Max, because he didn't bring Jay into it, like, and he honestly like it almost came off as he was like shitting on what Jericho did. How do you feel about how they worked it in? Because it wasn't as like low hanging fruit and just straight up fucking scumbag Jericho.
I actually liked the way they shoehorned it in. But they did it better than I think any. They did it the best way you could do it.
Because I feel like if anybody was going to do it, it fits MJF. And it was in a way of where it was. I am a little conflicted because part of me is like, hey, like leave it. But I'm like, well, if anybody is going to use it, it's MJF. And he didn't straight up. He didn't do what Jericho did, and like I know that's a very, very low bar to clear.
Or like he didn't do what Jericho, and the way that it was very in the most MJF way. It was respectful, I mean, he didn't talk about him, he didn't diss the dead. So, it was not not tasteless. You know what I'm saying? So it fit in
Sure,
everything.
sure. I can see that. What I think how it worked though is I can't wait to see Mark Briscoe beat that boy's ass.
It's gonna be great. Him and Mystico, but they'll put a whooping on his ass.
Two of the goats right there, man. That's awesome.
And my surprise pick.
Yeah, yeah, he's getting the pass for sure. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert! If you haven't listened to our last episode,
I'll tell you what though, they're building up to this gauntlet, and these are 1 and 2, so it's almost like the match within the match. I really want this program to continue after All In.
I think it is. We're gonna get a one-on-one match with them eventually.
I think, yeah. What do you think?
I'm thinking like, what's the next pay-per-view after? It'd be All Out, right?
Forbidden Door. We got a little bit of a pit stop in August.
I think you do it at Forbidden Door.
You might be able to do some big
Maybe.
like mishmash tag.
Yeah, like some New Japan or whoever they're doing with CMLL now. I don't know.
CMLL guys work UK, so like as long as the visas are active, you can do something interesting. I think you might see something because it works to the point of like if you're keeping Mystico in MJF's orbit for them to do their own thing, assumingly in Arena Mexico for the Anniversario in September. So maybe do some big tag in August because back-to-back weeks MJF could do the Mystico match, and then if that's I want to say it's like mid-September and All Out's the 20th. I would love for these two to have like a really awesome blood feud singles match on All Out. I think you could drag it that long, or you could just, even if it's a TV program, like these two together just makes sense, and I honestly never would have put them together.
Yeah, it's kind of like it reminds me of what they did Chicago, was it last year? When they did the Orange Cassidy Moxley main event, right? Was that last year or at All Out?
2 years ago.
Yeah,
they did Moxley Orange at Full Gear last year.
Okay, because there was one.
They've wrestled a lot.
It was one they did like a crazy, or was it whatever they did? They did like a crazy one-off like match that was like I want to say it was Moxley and Orange because he was just laying in the ring forever at Orange Cassidy after the match, right?
That was Chicago.
Yeah, that one. So like they did that like random match. I can kind of see that doing this with Briscoe and MJF. Just having like a random blood feud kind of match, but it's going to be a banger ass match.
And both of them are good bleeders.
Yeah, that's what.
MJF, I don't think gets enough credit for how well he can bleed.
Chicken rolls bleed on contact, so.
Dude, he's probably got. I mean, it's like him and Punk with like the best Crimson masks in North America, man. Because Punk don't get to do it all the time because he's in Seth freaking Rollins' purgatory right now. But they're not on this show, so.
Yeah, Seth Rollins purgatory, that's for damn sure.
They're still doing it. Jesus Christ. Anyways, back to this. Hurt Syndicate come out. They surround the ring. Again, just great babyface. Like with the odds against them with Briscoe. Like I'm watching this angle unfold, and I'm like, dude, like I'm loving this program. But then they tie it into the tag match. The biggest thing about this angle, though, is that nobody's ever gotten this much from the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, no.
Since any of them signed. Like, that was huge. They've
been kicking ass the whole time since they've been there.
And where Christian, I think, functioned the most, I guess, like the most important part of his integration into this match, when he was hitting those concertos to, was it Bobby's leg on the ramp?
Yeah.
And if Bobby Lashley's compromised, I mean, that's a way to get them to lose.
Yeah, true.
Because on paper, it's like you're 9 times out of 10, you're just going to take the safe bet and go with the Hurt Syndicate, So they have an avenue there. Whether they take the fall or not, I don't know. But if they are compromised, that makes it a whole lot more uncertain heading into the match. This all worked for me, though. Quite frankly.
Oh yeah, I fucked with it. I just wish it would. I just really wanted that tag match this between Hurt Syndicate and Jet Speed because I know they would have bumped their asses off.
Well, the way I look at it, we'll talk about it in a bit.
Yeah, let's talk about when we get to the card.
Yes, yes. To round out the card here, Briscoe and MJF, I did not state they are 1-2 in the gauntlet. The women's match has a number 1 spot with Statlander. But they needed to do a 4-way to determine the number 2 spot. And this was just another spot fest. Just nothing against anybody in this match, but I don't think this really suited everybody in the match.
It did not.
This was Megan Bayne, Queen Aminata, Ty Mello, and Tekla, and it was very much wait around for somebody to do a dive for like the first half. We all kind of knew where it was going though. Megan Bayne was always going to win this match, and then this was going to continue the Tekla Aminata feud, which I'm cool with. I'm glad Aminata has something to do.
There was a spot where she kicked Tekla in the back of the head. I just want to see them. I just want to see these two beat the shit out of each other every time. Just give me that.
And people were mad about it after that first match, and then Aminata's just like, "Yo, like this is a sport. This is what we do. Like lighten up." So I'm glad they've leaned into that instead of shying away from it. Because I think if they're both willing to work like that, let them, And
it actually is giving Aminata more, TV time, and it's giving her like more of a character, like an aggressive character. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Shout out DP Dub. Sign me up.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, nothing bad can come from a wrestler having a reputation that they beat the shit out of people. That's kind of the whole point,
Yeah.
So I thought this that worked for me, even if the match left a lot to be desired. That running power bomb from Megan Bayne looks scary though. Like it looks awesome.
Give her the belt. I don't know what belt, but give her something. Because
I mean, her and Stat starting things off. Sign me up.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. We're like, I'm still not sold on the Tekla person yet. Just want to throw it out there.
Yeah, it's like she's being it almost feels like she's around, but she's being featured, but she's not.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
I don't know.
I couldn't get a grasp on her in this match because there was a multi-woman, so I didn't really like. I don't know, but give me her and Queen Aminata again. I'll watch that.
Yeah, if they actually commit to the feud, give it a prominent spot, might have something there. Following that was the pull apart backstage between the two, which so I think that at least blends into that idea of just, hey, we have something here. It's a good example of taking something the internet's complaining about and capitalizing on it in a positive way.
Probably on Collision tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I'd be down. And then Briscoe and MJF got involved. It was a very chaotic backstage thing, which worked. And then Briscoe was just shouting into the camera, which I'm always here for. So
it was very chaotic, but it worked.
Yes. Then we get to Samoa Joe versus Wheeler Yuta. I had a lot of fun with this. I love Samoa Joe, man.
Just Yuta, poor Yuta, poor. That hair, man.
Yeah, we're all waiting for Bryan Danielson to put him out of his misery, right?
But shave his head.
But I think instead of this outright just being a squash, they put a lot of time into this as far as the plotting it out. Yuta really being conniving, just being a total shithead, and when you do that to Samoa Joe, you know what's gonna happen. It wasn't so clean cut though. Joe kind of just flash submission with the Cohina clutch at the end, but so much of this was just I loved how there was the nope spot, but then there was the unintentional nope spot on the outside.
Yeah.
Yuta claws at his eyes, so Joe rolls out, nopes him anyways, and then just the visual of Joe looking at the ceiling, what the hell?
Yeah, Samoa Joe's the best. Uh,
Yeah, man, we love him. I had a lot of fun with this match though for what it was. That was just like good old fashioned, just TV bullshit, affectionate. You
and
know,
it is sold, it played into the main event. So
did Gabe Kidd run in here?
yeah, right after this match.
Thank you. That's what I was confused on. So they're doing Death Riders versus the Ops or the Trios belts on the show, but Pac's still not good to go, unfortunately. So there was the question of the third man. I saw a couple names thrown around. One of them being Hook, one of them being
My guess,
Jack Perry.
I wish my guess was Hook. To be honest, that was my guess.
Still have a feeling he'll be involved in some degree, but it was Gabe Kidd, and some people are saying, "Oh, no, he's got too much going on." But it's like, well, he'll probably just hop on a plane at the Kesh though, because they're both in the G1 shortly after the next week, the 19th, I believe the G1 begins. So, yeah,
And flying out there, I mean, at least it makes sense because he has these with them. He
he's
showed,
officially
yeah,
booked in the match. Yeah, but
and like it showed up, like at least he's showed up before, and not just some random person they decided to throw in there, which I would have been okay with Hook. The Jack Perry thing would not have made sense. Don't do that.
yeah. Um, with Gabe though, I'm. It still doesn't make the most sense. But again, if we go Tony Khan brain here, I talked about the Barnett stuff when we were talking about Double or Nothing, but he was also one of Shibata's students.
Okay. See?
So, yeah, so they have that to play off of.
He,
All the War Dogs were.
he just go. All he's just gonna do is cuss and say "bro" and all this.
Yeah,
I'm
just
with it.
yeah, yeah. So that is confirmed for Saturday as well. And with Shibata and Hobbs running in, they just rolled it over into the main event, which was a big preview tag for Saturday. The Young Bucks, John Moxley, and Claudio Castagnoli, who came back last week, against the team of Hangman Adam Page, the Ops, and Will Ospreay. And I had a lot of fun with this match. I thought this was a really awesome TV main event. I think it tailed off at the end for me simply because of how much of the first half of the match was just showing you, the viewer, Hangman Page, and just screaming as loud as it can that that's the guy.
Yeah. That took me out of it for a little bit, but then
Okay.
towards the end, though, or like middle, I guess.
Yeah, when it kind of opened up.
Yeah, I was like, oh, here we go. I liked it just because like this is what all the whole night should have been. Matches like this that made more sense. Like you could have done some tag matches that had like you did with the Bandito Brody King stuff, but I was all for it. Sets up for your. It got me more into the main event. Like afterwards when they all came. But
Yeah, I liked how much they anchored around Hangman,
yeah,
and I just, you wanted him to see get his hands on Moxley, and that's like, that's not something that they really do in like American TV wrestling these days. It's usually like a pull apart segment or whatever, and that's fine. But this just felt like from like another time and place of like everybody is so invested into the babyface and they want to see him win the belt so badly. And they kind of capture that magic in like the first half of this match. But they did a bunch of cool stuff. Powerbomb to the table was great. A lot of the individual interactions were pretty cool. I think Osprey in this environment, like multi-man tags, he really is great in these too.
oh yeah,
So yeah, I got no complaints. I thought I had a lot of fun with this. It was just like it's just so easy to watch.
yeah. It was a smooth. What 11 minutes,
Yeah, it really didn't go all that long.
and it was just I enjoyed it. Like I said, but the after stuff was corny, but it worked. No, I shouldn't say.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say corny, but you didn't need to do it. I'm glad you did
it
it. 'Cause-
it felt out of place to me. So if you didn't see it, basically they kind of left things off to where Hangman and Moxley are staring down, You know, he has the chain now. Marina pulls him out of the ring. And I thought that's just where we were gonna leave off. And like, I'm like, all right, great. Like that, I think that's where they should have left off. So much of this match was centered around Hangman. You know, that when they went to Swerve, it just fell out of place to me. I feel like this should have came somewhere else in the show. So Swerve was not on this show. Swerve was not in the building, and I understand why. They do not want him and Hangman crossing paths yet. We're saving that probably till Saturday. But with like the kind of Austin-esque stuff with the limo, I get it, and I do think it would have been weird for Swerve to not be on this show whatsoever. But just where they dropped it into the post-match, you know? It felt just like a completely different segment.
Yeah, it was really. I get, like I said, I get what we're trying to do. Cool, we built up the. You kept showing that limo, that Photoshop limo. But yeah, it just felt really weird, out of place. You could have did this at the beginning of the show, maybe. Just
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So, just because I think of how high the stakes feel and how invested we all are in Hangman, and I almost like, I don't want to use this term, but just how serious it feels. To where like the Bucks kind of being like, oh no, you know, our limo, and it's just like, it just felt tonally dissonant to what was happening, but with the world title program.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it. I missed the. I didn't see the Bucks going outside. Did they go outside to their limo?
Yeah, and then Nana was there, and they got shit canned.
Yeah, 1,000% missed that part.
Yeah, so it was like this weird. It was like, okay, so like the big thing happened with Swerve and the excavator, you know, wrecking the limo. And then it's like, okay, we're back into the ring. Then we're back outside, and it was just like, maybe too many cooks in the kitchen with how they laid out the ending of the show. That's all.
Yeah, I thought him, excuse me, flipping the car over was the end, and I think I walked out to go do something, and I came back, and the show was already over. So I did not even see the Young Bucks going outside until I just read it right now on the run sheet.
Yeah, and I think that's just more of the ideological differences in those matches, where it's like the Bucks are always going to lean into that stuff, but it's like Moxley and Hangman are doing like pro wrestling, like hatred and issue, desperation type stuff. And AEW's at its best when it's a variety promotion, don't get me wrong, but it's like, hey, maybe like compartmentalize those things in situations like this. I mean,
yeah.
So I definitely feel you. It was just a little goofy for what it just like a total just like whiplash of the different feelings with the different programs. But overall, though, pretty strong ending, despite the dissonance there. But it just made me more excited for the main event.
To cut back, there was one spot I did like. During the schmaz. Excuse me. It was when Hangman went for the buckshot lariat. Claudio cuts him off with the uppercut, but then Hangman just clotheslines Claudio anyway.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm like, that's why I'm like, that's the guy, dude. Like, that's him.
Yeah, I was like, and then the stare down after. I was like, oh, God, please hurry up. I need to see.
Underrated aspect of Claudio's game, by the way, he knows when to stooge, and it never feels like it devalues him. He did it for Hobbs in this match, and then he did it for Hangman in the post match. I just wish more people kind of follow that example. But overall, it did its job. It made me I'm so invested in this main event.
I am ready for this main event. They've been building this card for damn near, 6 months? They've been promoting All In now for damn near the whole year.
I mean, World's End is when they had the Okada Kenny showdown. So yeah, like 7 months.
Yeah, so
almost 6 months and some change.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, that was Dynamite. If you want to run through the weekend's cards, I got Ring of Honor pulled. We can go chronological order if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm down. I have GCWs built up. I'll just name a couple matches that sound pretty good. And when we
I have
get
it
there,
on a separate tab. We can start with GCW.
hell yeah. I'm after that GCW show that I watched. I'm gonna tune into this one too, just because this card looks kind of crazy just looking at it. You have Priscilla Kelly versus Elena Black, who is formerly Cora Jade.
And Priscilla Kelly is Gigi Dolan, right?
Yep.
So for the NXT 2.0 fans,
Yeah, that. But Elena Black has been on kind of like an indie tear lately in GCW. It looks her and Joey Janela had a match, pretty decent. Sam Stackhouse versus KJ Orso, who is formerly Fuego del Sol, I believe.
Yeah, which the last GCW show I watched was the WrestleMania weekend one, and Sam Stackhouse was involved in the Mask versus. Is
that where he got tased?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. So Ricky Morton versus Mance Warner, huh? Yeah, there we go. That's a banger.
I might have to watch that out of sick curiosity.
I'm gonna throw Ricky Morton is one of the vets that have changed with the time. Like he rolls with the times. He doesn't stay in his way. Like he's out there doing Canadian destroyers. So I mean,
shout out, man! One of the all timers, man.
And then you got Matt Cardona versus Shotzi Blackheart. They've been running
another interesting one.
Well, they've been running this online feud lately where Shotzi's been calling herself the indie god. You know, that's Matt Cardona's thing.
Oh, yeah, gimmick infringement. Yeah, I'm sure he's not pleased.
Yeah, so like they've been having this feud going. That's pretty funny. Matt Tremont versus John Wayne Murdoch for the Ultraviolet.
I think that's if I'm watching anything off this show, I'm watching that.
This is gonna fuck, right? This is this tag match though. I don't know what ND and I know it's Young, Dumb, and something, but Alec Price and Jordan Oliver versus Dante Leone and Ninja Mac. That's gonna be.
There's your fireworks show of the evening.
Yeah, and the main event you got Effie versus Atticus Kogar.
Which Kogar was the guy who beat Fuego.
Yeah. To take the mask off of him. And then now they're pushing Atticus, it looks like. Because on the last event, Atticus attacked Effie. So, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty solid card. If that Ultraviolet match is going to be insane. But,
yeah, I don't know if I'll catch this live. If I watch anything live after Supercard, I might just switch over to CMLL for the Friday show. But I'm keeping my eyes peeled on. I definitely want to watch Tremont and John Wayne Murdoch. That sounds right up my alley. And honestly, Ricky Morton versus Mance Warner, just to know what that looks like, because that's wild.
Off of curiosity alone, I want to tune into that one.
yeah, of course. Oh, by the way, Collision tomorrow. I know there's like a bunch of multi-mans and stuff, but they're running Mystico versus the Beast Mortos.
I know. When I said that earlier, I forgot that match was happening.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
That's the match I'm tuning in for.
Absolutely. You want to get into Supercard?
Let's run it, brother.
This is not in any segmented order. It's all title matches, but we can fire these off. So I mentioned Nick Wayne doing double duty. He's defending against Teton, which that's a strange matchup because Teton likes to do a lot of like mat work, a lot of like Yave stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he can fly around, so that's one of those. I don't know what that's going to look like. But speaking of mat work, Lee Moriarty versus Blue Panther. This is a return match. They wrestled in Arena, Mexico. They taped it after Dynamite was there. Which, by the way, you know who did a run-in after that match?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, one certain retired American Dragon who took a back bump. Bryan Danielson took a back bump.
He did.
Make of that what you will. I'm gonna watch their first match tomorrow. I thought thought I was going to launch myself into following everything going on with all the Arena Mexico stuff a few weeks ago. That was not the case. Done a pretty good job, but didn't catch the Global Wars Mexico show. So I actually believe they put it up on the Ring of Honor YouTube page for free. So I'm gonna watch that tomorrow. Blue Panther is one of the all-time great Yave specialists, and him and Moriarty on the mat just seems like magic. So I'm going to watch that match and I'm going to watch this one. I feel like on a pay-per-view, they're going to have a lot more time. And how they utilize the pure rules is very interesting to me. But just Blue Panther, man. He's like 65 years old. Still going at it.
The match he had with Danielson was dope. I remember,
Love that match.
That was my, like, I mean, I've heard Blue Panther, but that was like my first, like, probably match ever watching it in full, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, he's how old? That's crazy, but yeah, I probably won't get to watch this live.
Yeah, you might be a little preoccupied.
I might be preoccupied, but I'll get there.
Yeah, well, we'll chop it up over next week. You know what was cool, what wasn't, etc. Sons of Texas versus the Infantry.
This is my plus 10 of the night.
Yeah, you know what? I ain't counting out Dustin Rhodes.
Okay, well, this is my plus 5 of the night.
No, this just seems like a curiosity you'd see on TV, and maybe it might be good, maybe it won't.
We know who's winning. They're in Texas. Like,
yeah. Suns ain't losing in Texas. Even though our local boy Captain Sean Dean is on there, but
unfortunately,
I think the local boys of the show are going to win.
Yeah, their names are literally Sons of Texas.
yeah, that ain't a mystery by any means. I'm going to skip down the list because I know one's main eventing.
Yeah.
I think Athena versus Thunder Rosa could be really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's Thunder Rosa's been on I've enjoyed more Thunder Rosa matches lately than I ever have.
For people who are smarter than me, I've heard them describe Thunder Rosa as a small room worker. And Esports Stadium is a lot smaller than buildings AEW normally run.
Someone else ran this Esports Stadium. I can't remember who.
Ring of Honor did last year.
That's what it was. Okay. Yeah.
Before, so they did a residency here before they flew to London.
That's what it was. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Death Before Dishonor was here.
That was a nice venue. I like this venue.
Yeah, that's where they ran Roddy and Mark Briscoe.
Okay. Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm with it.
Yeah. So I also feel like Athena hasn't had like one of these big matches in a while.
The fact that Athena's not. Or she could probably still be in the. We'll get there.
I think she might be in the gauntlet. Yeah, it would be a shame, dude. They had her there for the announcement.
They
of the
had her
show.
there for everything else, and you're gonna have her not. Come on, brother.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's the 3 spot for that first pop.
Yeah, you're gonna get that. She's on my list. I have another one on my list too. We'll get there.
Yes. But I really think this could be decent. It could be even great. I'm not counting on Athena, and like I said, from people who've been watching Thunder Rosa a lot longer than I have, maybe this is an environment she might thrive in more. And I mean, she could hit hard, and we know what Athena can do. So
it's gonna be a stiff match for sure. Like
yes.
I'll never count. Like I said, like I don't hate Thunder Rosa. I just never was a fan. Lately, though, like her past couple of matches when she came back and everything, I enjoyed her work. So.
We talked about it a couple times. It just took her a while to find her place, but I think she's settled into this. I think what AEW have now that they haven't in their history is an actual women's mid-card.
Yeah.
And she fits in there, and you can plug those wrestlers into a Ring of Honor show. So, I'm going to watch this, and I'm looking forward to it. Main event of the evening, Konosuke Takeshita challenging Bandito for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Just 2 genetic freaks, man.
Just 2 dudes being dudes.
Just incredibly strong, incredibly explosive. You're probably going to see some bullshit that you haven't before, and I say that affectionately as well. I'm looking forward to this. Bandito ever since he got out of Jericho Hell, has been on a insane run between CMLL and AEW. Now, obviously, I mean, I haven't been keeping up with Ring of Honor TV. I'll be real, but this is a big match for them to do. It's a worthy main event for the event and for the show. And I'm really looking forward to this. I'm just, if you like strength and speed and just humans doing things that you couldn't think they could do, you'll probably find that here.
I'm pretty stoked for this. I was stoked after watching that tag match on Dynamite, and I was like, oh yeah, now I get more, sign me up.
Yeah, and I think Bandito will win because I don't see them putting the belt on Takeshita for a couple of reasons. One being he's going to be in Japan for a month after this, and two, I don't think they're going to have him stick around in Ring of Honor. I think he's very much an AEW guy.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, still, I think this will be a really fun fireworks show. Well, if you're ready, we can get into the big one.
Let's get to it.
So, from the top here, we're starting with the gauntlets. The confirmed participants for the men's gauntlet. Mark Briscoe and MJF will start, followed by Mystico, Ricochet. Oh, Takeshita's confirmed for the gauntlet, so there you go. He's doing double duty. As is Bandito. As is Brody King. Now, again, cage match, take it with a grain of salt. Wikipedia, take it with a grain of salt. I guess the two things we need to throw out here first. Let's have some fun with this. We don't really do the games on here, but let's play a game. I want you to give me a realistic long shot, if that makes sense, and then give me a stupid one of who's going to be in this match.
You already know my stupid one.
Let the people know, Chris.
It's the alpha male Bonnie Brown. My favorite TNA wrestler is gonna show up. He's gonna be a StarCast. Give the people what they want. Just one more time. I'll be happy just seeing 1 pounce, and then you can just toss his ass or do whatever you gotta do. Realistically, let's see. I'm trying to think who's like those little contracts. I mean, you can see Orange Cassidy. That's who's been on my. I think Orange Cassidy comes back. Cause
yeah,
like
I mean, if he's ready, I heard he was going to be out for a while, like 8-9 months.
Yeah, like because I don't think you put Darby in this, right? Because like Darby's.
Here's the problem with this match and with the connotations of the main event. There's like people we've been waiting to come back who we like. I think Eddie's close, if not ready.
Actually, no. Wait.
I think
before you say that,
Darby's ready.
Before we say that, I do have my realistic one. Jay White.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
That's my realistic one right there. Jay White.
I can honestly see him winning it too.
Yeah. No, who I want. My pick's Brody King. But
okay,
that's my pick for the match. I'm going totally just, but
hey, hard overhead, right?
Yeah. So I feel like Jay White is like realistic and not out of the realm of possibility, but funny. Monty Brown.
Yeah, stupid's a bad word. I just mean like out of left field, like weird,
like
pick.
Crazy, just wild.
Yeah. All right,
it's your turn now.
Hear me out. Actually, no, I scrapped that pick because he wrestled in the U.S. for the last time. I was going to say get Tanahashi on the stadium show, but we saw his last match in the U.S. We ain't changing that.
Yeah, don't.
That's not happening again. We're not undoing that. That was like canonical.
Yeah, we did that.
Core memory.
We were there.
Yes, we were.
Horrible parking situation, but we were there.
Oh yeah, I saw the match. Saw the match. Oh man, I didn't even think about this. Jay White's a good shout for a realistic one. There's like a group of wrestlers I don't want to touch as far as like just how they play into the main event, that being Darby Allin, Eddie Kingston, and Bryan Danielson.
And that's what I was saying, because I was like, I feel like Darby, you have him come back as Team AEW, like
I do think we can talk about this now. People are turning on Darby on the internet. Again, I need to stay off the internet. I don't think if he comes back and wins this match, I don't think that means Moxley's defending. I think that there's like an actual, like, the story that writes itself. I think it would make sense if Darby came back and won this match. You can tell the story of, we defeated the Death Riders, you fucked off and climbed a mountain.
And
Where were you? Like, I think that's very compelling. I think you could do a lot with that. I don't know if you necessarily turn him heel, but you could.
Finally turn him heel.
You could.
Because,
yeah.
To, like, piggyback off of that, back during Sting's retirement, I was like, yo, what if Darby just turns heel and just fucks Sting over? And that would make Darby the biggest heel in AEW. And I was like, yo, that would actually skyrocket him. It didn't do it. I mean, I'm glad they didn't do it. Gave Sting his flowers and everything. But it would have been kind of cool. But I see what you're saying, though. And then you could do that, too. And you don't even necessarily have to turn him heel, because you could still do Hangman and Darby to AEW, like, you know, but you could still have that tension between them.
There's a lot you can do with it if he does. If like I almost want that to happen, like, just fantasy booking it, because I'm like, imagine if they let off with this, and Darby wins, and people are like doom and gloom, but then Hangman still wins, and then what? It's an open-ended question. You know, you can do so much with it, and I think that's being ignored.
Well, we're gonna get one of the Von Erichs, aren't we? In this thing.
Oh yeah, like the kids.
Or maybe not even. We'll get the old man.
Give me the old man for my wild pick.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's go. Put the Iron Claw on some people.
I mean, they're in Texas. I'm just trying to think out of the realm of possibility here.
Yeah, that's my pick. Give me Kevin Von Erich.
Hell yeah.
For the wild pick. I would also say, I know he's main eventing the night before in Arena Mexico. I'd love to see Ultimo Guerrero in this. But yeah, give me Bang Bang Gang too. If it's Juice or Jay White or both, I would love to see them back. I think Jay White has a realistic chance of winning this, because I think Tony Khan's very high on Jay White, and also I think we're getting close to contract time for him.
Yeah.
And I think they actually want to hang on to him. I don't think this is a private party or Mariah May situation. I think I was sure on MJF winning this, and you talked me out of it. I think we're gonna get more of the Briscoe MJF program. So I would say if Jay White or Darby come back, I could see them winning. Or I don't know.
Go to the big dog. Just, you're pushing them. You're doing the right thing. Just
I'll take a swing, and I will say Jay White, especially with the context of Hangman winning, because they like that feud a lot. And I think if they're uncertain of his contract status, I could easily see Jay White being in like a first defense and him losing. Yeah, so I'm saying Kevin Von Erich will be in the match, and Jay White wins.
Got the alpha male Monty Brown, and I'm picking Brody King. Hard overhead.
I hope you're right, man. Next we get to the women's match.
We get to do it all over again.
Yeah. I don't know. We have an interesting aspect to this one, because I haven't done the math with 90 days of WWE releases, but there are some names floating around.
My pick, Shayna Baszler. That's my pick for the gauntlet.
One of my friends was telling me that she might be signing back. So that might be a buzzer beater. Yeah, I don't.
Well, and to sidebar, I also seen that not only Private Party, but also Danhausen contracts that WWE are looking at too. So,
I mean,
I'll be happy if Danhausen gets that bread, but I'll be mad if Private Party go over there.
Yeah, Private Party feels like a huge missed opportunity. I can't really feel bad about them losing Danhausen, because it's almost like, I know people were mad at him for being CM Punk's friend or selling his own merch on the side, whatever people hated Danhausen for. but I think it's a missed opportunity that you didn't market the shit out of him and sell a ton of merch.
Oh, yeah.
So I think WWE is just thinking have him be some NXT gimmick and sell a bunch of shit.
For sure. You put him and
Yeah.
Ethan Page together, that's money within itself.
Yeah. Women's match though, the only two confirmed competitors according to this is Megan Bayne and Kris Statlander. I mean, I'm assuming Willow's in it. I'm assuming everybody in the 4-way matches will be in it.
You're probably gonna see you're gonna see Athena. You'll probably see Thunder Rosa.
Mm-hmm. I would even say maybe like Azumi or
Jamie.
Momo.
You'll probably see Jamie Hayter. I don't know.
I would hope Jamie Hayter would come back and win it, but I just hope she's okay. She's been away since Double or Nothing, and I think it was from that head drop.
Yeah. Then. Yeah. If that's Shayna Baszler. I don't know who else you would get.
I would take a Dakota Kai debut.
I would take I forgot about Dakota Kai. Tegan Knox would be sweet.
Yeah.
And then
Tokyo Joshi Pro is in town that weekend. Give me Miyu Watanabe, giant swinging people in the match. That's my out of left field pick.
I'm still gonna.
They've done some. Oh, go ahead.
I'm still holding on. It's just gonna be Shayna Baszler. That's who I'm just saying.
I'm with you. I would love for Shayna to be in it. I would love for her to win it.
Yeah, I would. I'm a big Shayna Baszler fan. So
yeah, let's lock it in. Shayna Baszler. Let's manifest it. Shayna's coming home. Let's go.
And Monty Brown.
And Monty Brown, dude. Wrestling's back.
If I see Monty Brown, I'm screaming. I'm gonna wake the baby up. I'm screaming.
We'll send you a voice note of me screaming.
Yeah, like we did it. We manifested this.
Hey man, Tony Khan didn't get Goldberg. Give him Monty Brown.
Right, he didn't get Goldberg. He better.
I'm excited for that match though. We'll talk about that after the all in.
He better not win. I'll tell you that.
No, he ain't winning, man.
It's WWE.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
WWE Creative's been wrong, but let's talk about AEW first. Okay, so we've locked in Shayna Baszler to debut and win collectively. That's the podcast pick. That is the manifestation. We're putting it out in the universe.
Who cares that all the signs are pointing to Megan Bayne? Give me Stanley.
Yeah, that too. Next is the special tag team match: Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay against the Young Bucks. Young Bucks, if they lose, they are no longer EVPs in kayfabe. If Swerve and Ospreay lose, they cannot challenge for the AEW World Championship for an entire year. I think all points are to the Bucks winning this match. Whether it's clean or not, I can't tell you that.
Telling you, there might be a certain Jack Perry coming back and helping them.
I would rather it be here than the main event.
That's what I'm saying. I would rather have it here than anywhere else. Like I don't want. But also piggyback to that casino. Let's not forget about Ruby Soho.
Yeah, I mean, as long as she's like.
Well, I just seen her like not too long ago try on Instagram maybe or Twitter.
I know she had her baby a while ago, so as long as she's good to go.
Well, she was in a ring like training, so that'd be dope to see her back.
I would love to see her back. I missed Ruby Soho on TV, man, and also I would love to see more 2.0 in general, because they're like one match this year was fucking awesome against FTR. It was like a beatdown, but they bladed like crazy. It was awesome. But anyways, yeah, I'm cool with that too. Let's talk about Jack Perry again. I know we do it every now and then. And this isn't me just being negative. It's a genuine question. Where does he fit in this company?
He doesn't.
I was talking to my brother about this, and I don't think you want to hear what we had to say about him, but like it really clicked.
I do everything just out of a troll value at this point with that guy.
Take all that out of the equation, though, because this is what clicked into my head. I feel like ever since he's been gone, the people that they've brought in 2025, the people that they've built in 2025, I just don't know where he fits. What does he do that somebody else doesn't do? So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I feel like they're going to bring him back at this show. I feel like if you don't do it here, I don't know when you do it, right? And I feel like if you do it in Chicago, I feel like that ship sailed years ago now.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I don't think you I don't think you have any more CM Punk heat to milk.
And that's pretty much his whole stick was that, you know, but
Don't get me wrong, like AEW people, especially on the internet, like they still want to do it. But we were in the building for the title match last year. Like it's gone. Like it's over.
yeah.
Like you need to move on. And this I will have my little soapbox of Hangman too. Like when we get to the end, nothing against him, but just the perception. I don't know what you do with Jack Perry for this show, but I feel like if you do it, he has to be the Young Bucks bump guy,
For sure.
and you bring him in here. Um, yeah, I think with if Hangman wins that belt and you have a babyface champion for at least 6 months, right? At least a Revolution at the earliest. I think he needs to have a good old run. If you do this kind of plot armor, so to speak, of where Swerve and Osprey are out of the title picture for a year, that really frees you up. I feel like you have to do that.
Yeah.
Because then when the Owen Hart tournament comes around, Osprey's going to be tapping his watch. Like, my time's coming up. We're in England again. That's what they're going to do, the switch. Not if it's Hangman or MJF or Fletcher, whoever you want to book in that spot. I think the right thing to do is to keep them out of the title picture. So I think the Bucks are winning.
Yeah, especially, and then, like, but, yeah, okay, I can see that. I was gonna say, if that happens, Swerve's gonna turn heel then, right? Obvious.
I think so. And obviously,
But then how?
listen, I'm for this. I know some people might not be. I'm cool with him not challenging Hangman for the belt for a year.
No, I'm cool with that too. It's just if you turn him heel, like if he gets pissed off that Osprey made that whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he doesn't come out to help Hangman at the end. So that kind of kills your big hero moment or your big coming together moment, right? Or am I just
no, that's a good point.
you know what I'm
That's a good
saying? Or
point.
am I like, because I'm like, that. Um,
That's a good point. So I don't know, but it makes it interesting. Maybe they're doing this as a red herring to make us think, oh well, Osprey and Swerve aren't gonna, Hangman's gonna have this run. Maybe I fell for it.
yeah, because like I mean, I was trying to think maybe they do it, and then like
This is why I love having these talks.
yeah,
Now I got the wheel spinning.
yeah. Because now I'm just
So
like, how do you do that? How do you pull that off? Because you built this
they
up.
they have built to this.
Yeah.
You're correct in your assessment.
You,
Okay, maybe they don't. Maybe they get the Bucks back to just being the Bucks, and they want to win championships and not
because like
have
I would
MS
be
Paint limos.
perfectly fine with the Bucks losing that moniker and just being the Bucks and not having that like EVP.
No more Succession music and
yeah, because maybe that's why they're getting rid of that, or maybe that's why they keep trying to go with that founding father thing instead of the EVP because they're just trying to get rid of. Maybe maybe we're just seeing all. I don't know, but
you raised some very valid points. So yeah, maybe the baby faces do go over. We'll see. You know what? I think that makes the match all the more interesting.
It makes it a lot more interesting now. So
yeah. No, that's a great points you made there. I guess this one you leave up to a coin flip then, because I think you could do either.
it's gonna be a good match though. I know for a fact it's gonna be.
Oh yeah, I alluded to it at the beginning of the show. I think because Swerve and Osprey aren't in the main event, and I think because the Bucks haven't had that pay-per-view match in a very long time. I think you're going to see a couple chips on some shoulders, and they're going to do the wildest shit on the show because aside from the Texas Death Match, and I guess you can consider the Casino Gauntlet gimmick matches. There's not a lot of stipulations on this show.
Yeah, I think
This is very straightforward.
and I think they did that for that main event sole purpose.
Yeah, but as far as just like you're not going to get any ladder matches or whatever, these guys are going to be doing a lot of the high spots. So, very well. AW World Tag Team Championship match. This is now a 3-way match, as we talked about. Hurt Syndicate defending against Jet Speed and the Patriarchy, that being Kevin Knight, Mike Bailey, and then Patriarchy being Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. I don't know, man. Gut feeling is that Hurt Syndicate hang on to those belts. But with the injury angle, I could see Jet Speed winning. I think that they've really invested into those two since they've signed.
It looked like they were gonna honestly upset the Hurt Syndicate going into this without adding the Patriarchy into it. So I can see them winning. I can also see a swerve, and for some stupid reason putting the belts on the Patriarchy. But I feel like Nick Wayne is gonna take this pin in this match.
They have to blow it up soon.
Yeah, no,
and I feel like it's going to be a Nick Wayne loss that will trigger it.
What better place than the biggest stadium, you know?
Yeah, it's just like he gets eaten alive by Bobby Lashley, and then Christian's like, well, maybe FTR in the match, maybe they get involved, who knows? But you got 3 guys who are going to bump like crazy. You got Christian Cage, who's going to just be Christian Cage. And that's all I really ask. I think this will be cool. I can see this being in a cooldown spot after one of the big title matches.
I wouldn't put it right after the. I hope they don't do tag match after tag match. So.
No, I think this will come after Kenny Okada or the women's title match.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Or one of the gauntlet matches. I don't know.
I feel like it's gonna. Yeah. Okay. I feel like it's gonna come after. Probably like the women's gauntlet, maybe.
Yeah. Gut feeling. Who do you have winning?
Jet Speed.
Yeah. Fuck it. It's the feel. All in is the feel good show.
I'm going with my heart over everything. This card.
Yeah. Jet Speed.
Come on, Molly Brown.
Those tag belts. And good, yeah, hell yeah, and good for them if they do win, man. That's an awesome story. They just kind of came together and it worked. Like they came in at like about a month apart and it just worked. So
and they're like 2 of my favorites in AEW right now. I love Speedball.
I think what Speedball has done so well is just like he just needed to change the scenery just because like he'd done it all in the Indies and it paid off big time. I'm really happy about that because like I did have some fatigue last year. Now I'm back locked in and just I've been watching Kevin Knight since he was a young lion, so like seeing him in this spot's really rewarding. So yeah, I would love to see them win. Speaking of people, go ahead.
I've been watching Speedball since like PWG 2015 maybe. He used to wear a gi. That's all I remember.
Like the Roddy match and stuff.
Yeah, that match was badass. I think he had I forgot what other match he had, but I first seen him there because that's where I see most of my indie wrestling was there, and I was like, "Who is this dude?" I was just hooked. Then I remember getting all the DVDs, making sure he was on them.
Mm-hmm. What a story too! Like he couldn't work in America for years,
bro. That's crazy.
Now he's working. I think they confirmed this is going to be the biggest non-WWE show in America. So it's awesome.
I can't wait to see what it looks like.
Yeah. Speaking of people who need to win, Kyle Fletcher challenging Adam Cole for the TNT title. Rip the Band-Aid off, man.
Let's go, Fletch Lights.
Proto Star, man. The Fletch Lights will be out.
I'm a certified Fletch Light. He's my pick.
He's won me over, man.
Yeah, he's winning.
He really has.
He's winning. Circle that one. He's winning on my card.
Look, I really just needed to see what he could do outside of the Ospreay feud, and just because, like, again, like if it's your thing, that's wonderful. But it's just like he's just a different wrestler with other people.
Yeah, it felt like him and Ospreay had the same match over and over. It was good. Don't get me wrong, but
he's just a different worker.
Exactly. Like with anybody else, he brings out the best in that. Like that Daniel Garcia match, like you said, brought out the best in Daniel Garcia. He's gonna bring out the best in Adam Cole. he's gonna take that title, and the fleshlights are gonna celebrate.
Now I feel like his year can really
Yeah,
take off.
yeah.
Like this is going to be this like they planned it out to where this is going to be a real turning point for him. And for how much we shit on the booking of the TNT title this year, this is like best case scenario coming out of that. So just don't overcomplicate it. Just have him win clean as a whistle and move on. Now we gotta talk the big business.
Big business.
Not the big business that Mercedes when they debuted on. She's listed after this, but here's one that's a little harder to call. Title for title, well, unified title for what they're now confirming to be for the very last time, first and last time outside of Japan. Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada. Continental title, international title will be merged into the unified title because Intercontinental has been trademarked by World Wrestling Entertainment. We talked about our hesitation. We just don't know what it's going to look like. I think because Kenny has been preserving himself and Okada has been leaning into more of an intensity that I think I can't say it will reach those heights, but I think that they're saving their best for this match.
Yeah. Like you said, you told me to give it, you wait here for what you were going to tell me. And how Kenny Omega's been gone, held off TV. He's been, I guess I'm going to withhold judgment until I see the match. My pick, I got Okada winning. I'm taking the Rainmaker.
Very well.
Because I feel like we've only scratched the surface with him a little bit because he got trapped in that Elite Vortex again.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, you don't need Don Callis in this. I don't know why. You don't need him. But I get why you had him because Okada probably needed a mouthpiece. But
not only that, I think because now that they confirmed that this is the last match and Callis was around for all of them, I think they just wanted to tie it up, you know.
How do you go up? So you're just not going to book them against each other ever again?
I don't think so,
That's
man.
crazy.
I think that they're doing it once, they're doing it in the stadium, and that's it. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean they're meeting like tags or whatever.
I was
but
saying
like
singles, like that's crazy.
I'm gonna make my case for Kenny Omega to win on 2 points. Mainly because Okada's on a part-time deal. And I think that they want to give Kenny Omega one last run on top. Not saying he's going to like retire anytime soon. But I mean like they're trying to say that this unified title will be treated as like the 1A, like this will main event pay-per-views with if the world title doesn't.
Let's do that.
So I think on that basis, they're going to give Kenny like a really solid run with this thing. And it starts here. And also, like, this whole year has kind of been like giving Kenny the reins again, you know?
I can see that. Now that you say that, and then you have him do his last main event run and some banger matches.
Yeah.
I still go Okada.
Yeah. So
In my heart, I still want Okada just because I don't know why. I love Okada.
by the way, because we speculated on it before, on the media call, they did confirm that there still will be a Continental Classic this year at the same time.
Hell yeah.
So, okay, so we got one for Okada, one for Kenny. I really think it could go either way. It'll be interesting. I don't know. I think you could work the diverticulitis. You could give us a match where that is way more focused than anything they've ever done. But these two have never been like the kind of focused wrestlers. It's always like when these two meet, it's always about just the big, the bombastic, the over the top, you know. So we'll see. This is probably the match I'm most interested in just seeing what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because it's been so long, and Kenny especially has been through so much. So. It'll be special though, because like I didn't watch these two wrestle live I watched them all after the fact. So like, it's gonna be surreal having the live broadcast up, watching an Okada Omega singles match. That's gonna be just like mind blowing to me.
It's not going to be at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning.
No, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Women's world title match. Our allegiances are set. This is Mercedes Moné trying to get her seventh belt against Timeless Tony Storm. I'm all in on Tony, man. No pun intended. I want Tony to win. I'm picking Tony to win.
I Tony to win. I'm going to pick Tony to win. As much as, oh man, it's hard. I'm going to go, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard over everything else. Tony. Fuck it. Tony Storm.
I will add this too. I think if Mercedes loses, I like the idea of her having the mountain that she just can't seem to climb. Because she hasn't been pinned yet. And it's the only thing she hasn't won, really. So, like, I like her having something to chase, especially if you turn her face eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like her character's been consistent throughout, whether she leans face or heels, depending on match. But I mean, like, down the line, if you make her a true baby face, so to speak, she has that mountain to climb. And I really think you give Tony Storm like the keys to the division, so to speak. You make her your ace, your centerpiece. She's kind of been that at multiple times, but it feels like you're only going to have this first loss to burn once with Mercedes. And I feel like it would be a missed opportunity if they don't do it now.
Yeah. This match, I'm like, legit, I'm torn. Like, my heart is saying Tony, so I'm gonna go stick with Tony, but I think they might pull the trigger.
I could see it too, but I'm like, man, if it's not Stat and Willow who are up next, like, what are we doing?
Like, no, that could play into where if Mercedes does win, you run Chris and her back if Chris wins that gauntlet. But I mean, Shayna Baszler winning that gauntlet. But if Chris Statlander pulls it off, right, you run that back. Chris and Monet.
I mean, they have the history, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And this time it'd be for the bigger belt, but then you don't. But then I wouldn't do that either because then you're shitting on Chris Statlander again. Because you're not going to have her beat Monet for that belt.
Yeah. I think it'll be telling as far as the outcome, but it is hard to call. I'm still going with my gut. I'm going with Tony.
Yeah, I'm riding with Tony. It's Tony time.
Yes, sir. The money train stops here.
It does.
Oh, good.
No monorail.
No. Monorail. Monorail. Main event time.
The meat
match.
The meat and potatoes.
AEW's biggest match all year. Hangman Adam Page challenging Jon Moxley for the AEW World Title in a Texas death match. I do have to talk about my hesitations with the stipulation. Because don't get me wrong, I think their first Texas death match together, I think it's one of my favorite AEW matches, period. As far as just, it was a Kingmaker type of match, but then they just failed Hangman after that. Like they just gave up on him. They stuck him in the Elite Vortex. My hesitations with the stip though is that if they want to go with all the run-ins, I'm like, I don't want that to take away from how good these two are at this type of match.
Yeah. I hope they keep their run-ins to a minimum, at least, because they're going to come in towards the end. It's going to be AEW versus the Death Riders, And
it's supposed to be like, we've been conditioned to expect it with the Death Riders, but now it's going to be they finally met their match, and they finally have the guy to put the sword to Moxley. Like, definitively, it's over. I believe now. I truly believe that Hangman is going to win this title.
Yeah,
I
he
just
has to win this time.
oh yeah, you can't. He's done if they don't. Like it would be really bad. I don't want no cash in bullshit. Just I feel like though with these stadium shows, I mean I don't really have much to say about MJF Adam Cole, but it's like the Danielson one, they didn't do anything stupid. They didn't do any cash in stuff. So I think that they know that you have to send the people home happy and you can't overcomplicate it. I think in the context of the Death Riders, doing the end game stuff will work. I just don't want it to detract from the actual match. Because I know that this could be tremendous, and I'm like, you know what? They haven't done fire in a long time.
Yeah,
Just saying.
that.
They're in a big old stadium.
Don't be surprised if you don't see like a trampoline barbed wire John.
I don't know what the Texas Sports Commission what their policy on fire is, but I'd love to see it. But I think you're going to see something incredibly fucked up before the run-ins come on. I think Shivani said it's going to be the biggest night of Hangman's career. I agree.
Yeah, man, like if it played out different, you could do a call. Oh no, never mind. Don't do it now, but do a callback to when Hangman won the title the first time and when the Bucks nodded to him.
But it's going to be Swerve.
Yeah, it'd be Swerve, right? That's how they're gonna. That'd be pretty sweet. Or yeah, it'd be Swerve.
This is the finish is what boggles my mind, and this is where I think that maybe the Texas Death Match might muddy the waters a bit, because they already burned John Moxley tapping out. He tapped out the Hangman
Yeah,
in that match, which still to me is mind blowing. Man, I would love for him to just hit the buckshot and have the 1, 2, 3, and like that elation of the three hitting the mat and the building erupting. So you have to get around that because it's only knockout or submission. So I'm really curious to see how they get there. I do think we're going to get the Swerve payoff. They've been building to it for months. I just want to see how they're going to up the ante from how insane the last time this happened, you know?
I feel like it's gonna be no. You don't be surprised if you hear certain American Dragon theme song.
I think Danielson and or Sting,
that I'm saying, like you're gonna get
like
the
we're going full Avengers, full
I
Avengers
say
here.
you need all the Avengers to beat Thanos. So I mean, uh, I don't see Sting, but I feel like you might. Danielson's not out of the realm because he's been around,
He's been hitting Busaiku knees. He could do one more, you know.
He's got a certain Wheeler Yuta to take out, but
And he's confirmed for Starcast as well.
see, him and Monty Brown can come together.
It's like I know he's gonna run into this match, but when I see Bryan Danielson on my TV again, I'm gonna be like going through my fucking walls.
Yeah, you doing that for Danielson's, but I'm gonna do to Monty Brown.
R2 greatest wrestler ever cases.
Like what you're doing there is exactly what I'm gonna do when I see the alpha male Monty Brown. Like,
dude, if Monty Brown comes out, I'm running through my walls too, man.
You're gonna be like,
there ain't gonna be I'm gonna run through the foundation of my home is gonna be flipped upside down from me.
Yeah, like me alone. I'm shaking the hospital to its very core. But like,
dude, there's gonna be shockwaves through the region.
Twitter's gonna blow up. It's gonna be crazy.
Can I go soapbox mode for just a moment? I know we're going really long here.
Do your thing.
This isn't gonna be long, but I gotta just make one thing particularly clear to people who aren't gonna listen to this. But I just want to get off my chest.
Do your thing, brother.
Don't make Hangman winning the belt about CM Punk.
Yeah, that part.
Don't do it.
It's Hangman's moment.
It's Hangman's moment. It's going to be his career-defining moment. Let the man have his moment. That's been the problem the whole time. Don't make it about nobody else. Let Hangman have his moment in the sun. That's all I ask. Because if you do use it to dunk on CM Punk, you're just as big as a problem as anybody else. That's just my take.
This is his moment. Hangman Adam Page is not anybody else's. Hangman Page.
Let him hoist that belt over his head. Let the baby faces parading him around on their shoulders. Like, All In has historically been the feel good show. Let it be the feel good show.
He's riding out on a horse.
Oh my God, he is.
Yeah, huh? He did.
He hasn't done that since the Jericho match, right? The Kenny match, he did it in the pre-match promo.
Yeah.
Okay. You know it's big time when he rocks up on the horse. And
you're in Texas, you're gonna have probably a long ramp. Yeah, you riding a horse. You all have.
Has Hangman ever wore white?
No, don't think so.
Keep an eye out for the big match whites.
Yeah, because he's bleeding if he is.
They're both gonna bleed, but
I can't wait.
It's gonna be glorious. Yeah, that just about does it. I don't really have too much else to say. We didn't give our picks, but I think it's clear that we're both very much sold on Hangman finally doing this fucking thing.
Finally, we're going into the new era here of We're gonna go into the Hangman era, and it's gonna be great. And Monty Brown's gonna be in it, and Shayna Baszler's gonna be in it.
I only bring up the Punk stuff because of that, because I think it's time to truly
move on from it.
Turn the page. Yes. Because I've moved on.
It's just,
I want them to so badly.
They need to move on. The weird people on the internet need to move on. CM Punk is in a better spot. Hangman's in a better spot. Let's just
let it happen.
Yeah, let it happen.
Let life, live and let live at this point.
You know what I'm saying?
I think, yeah.
At the end of the day, CM Punk just wanted to make money, and guess what he's doing right now?
He's making a lot of it.
It might be blood money, but he's making money.
That's the truth. Still haven't seen the match, by the way. Once I saw what happened, because I'm like, I guess this could be the tangent before we sign off. I'm like, oh damn, they gave the last Punk Cena match the Roman Reigns match layout. That's terrible. That's fucking vile. But I guess you get what you deserve.
At least this time, Fiend didn't play for 27 minutes, so.
Yeah, I'm kind of checked out, man. I'm gonna watch Gunther Goldberg though. And you know what? I am going to watch Evolution. I think there's some cool stuff on that card. And quite frankly...
I'll have it on because it's wrestling, so it'll be on.
I'm excited for a few matches on Evolution, and I also feel like the ladies got done dirty with it getting put on All In weekend. It's not their fault, and it sucks.
Yeah, they didn't have to move it to this weekend, but they chose to.
Yeah, and it wasn't any other roster's decision. Yeah. It's a bad situation.
What's so funny about that is they tried to do this, or they moved it to this weekend, and TK said, "Yeah, we're just put ours at 2:00 in the afternoon. Y'all good?"
And quite honestly, it's going to be so much better for traffic, for people at the show, and for us watching at home. Yeah. Well, and then we get to watch the show and then have the whole evening to do whatever we want.
And then if you think about it, in a wrestling fan standpoint, he did that. You could watch his show and still watch the opposition show.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you could talk shit about the man all you want to. He's a wrestling fan. He wants nothing more than just to be a wrestling fan. And he's he gets he gets the shit on, he gets shit on a lot, but the dude has a heart too. He's been donating to charities like crazy. But at the end of the day, he's a wrestling fan who owns, he's putting on a wrestling show, and it's awesome. I like it. It's cool to me.
Yeah. No, his heart's in the right place. That being said, that's All In preview week, or our preview of All In week, rather. I know we went long on this one, but hey, you haven't heard from us in a couple weeks.
We had a lot to catch up on.
We did, and this is a very AEW centric show. This is our biggest show of the year, so I don't know what you would expect otherwise. But I think us going this long though is a good indication of how excited we are, and I just hope that they stick the landing with any show, really. So. The next time you hear from us, I'm assuming will be next week, and we will have a full review of All In. I'm sure some tidbits here and there about the other ongoings from the weekend, and the first show of the Chicago Residency, from the Aragon Ballroom next Wednesday. Keep it locked here until then. If you got this far into this extra episode of the Underhook show, thank you so much. I'll plug the Match of the Year video since we're going long again. YouTube.com/matches worth watching. My top 30 from 2024. Put a lot of work into it. If you want a power hour of just me, you can find it there. ECW 93, don't have a timetable on it, but I got like 10 TVs left, so maybe at the end of the month. You got anything to plug, Chris?
I'll be a dad again within like 24
Hell yeah.
hours. So, like, that's why, I'm excited for. Shout out little Zaner coming. So,
I got my Sami Zayn shirt on right now.
see,
Look at that.
there we go. It's fate, baby. So, yeah, no, we got that going. I'm going to watch All In with my 2 kids. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome, man. I'm stoked.
Ain't nothing better than that, man. That's a beautiful thing. So you embrace that. I'm probably going to be watching it while some extended family are trying to invite themselves over. But hey, we're going to make it work. I will make sure I watch it in time for the pod next week. But anyways, for Steve, for Chris, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.
See ya.